Hey, it's the BNFF fan break, and we're here with In Between the Yard Lines. To kind of recap what happened in Week 1, Andrew Luck had 4 turnovers in his debut against the Chicago Bears, as he had a fumble and 3 interceptions against the Bears, and a not so impressive first debut for Luck, as it had ended in a loss against Chicago. Wilson of the Seattle Seahawks also struggled as a rookie. He failed to win the Seahawks game as the Cardinals upset the Seahawks. Ryan Tannehill also threw 3 picks as he lost his game against the Houston Texans. And Brandon Weeden, who was the worst of all the rookies, had 4 interceptions as he lost against Michael Vick 16-17. RG3 was the only exception to the terrible rookies as he had a great game with 2 touchdowns and basically 300 yards. He had no interceptions and an upset win over the New Orleans Saints. So a very good debut for RG3. We'll see if he can continue his success in next week's game. Peyton Manning had 2 touchdowns, no interceptions against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense in his return back. We'll see if he can also continue his success against the Atlanta Falcons next week. David Akers, although he hit the crossbar on the kick, did get the kick to go through on a 63-yard NFL record, tying NFL record I should say, field goal. So very impressive by David Akers there. I honestly did not know he had that big of a leg, but, hey, anything can happen in the NFL. Mentioned this in an earlier video that the Buccaneers upset the Carolina Panthers as the Panthers struggled to win, and the Buccaneers took advantage of it and won the game and got an early lead in the division. Tom Brady, although he won in big fashion in Tennessee, ended up breaking his nose, had blood coming all out right there, so it was a pretty sight to see, let me tell you that. But, it was not a really big deal for him. He said he's never had it happen before, but he said it was nothing really that was affecting his game. The Lions and Eagles both barely escaped upsets this week. I already mentioned the Eagles barely beating the Browns 17-16. As Vic, although he had 4 interceptions, just like Brandon Weeden, he ended up having 2 touchdowns in that game, which ended up leading him to victory over Brandon Weeden. And the Lions had a close game as well, but Stafford was able to pull out a good miracle, scoring drive to kind of get their lead and win the game. Both the Falcons and Ravens had huge wins in their week games as the Falcons upset the Chiefs in a big victory, and the Ravens did the same over the Bengals with over 40 points. So big games for both of those teams as well. What we kind of can look forward to in week 2 is the Bears and Packers game, which just happened. The Bears didn't seem to impress too much, and the Packers basically took advantage of it. Cutler was struggling terribly. The Packers ended up winning the game. We'll see how the Bears recover after that big loss to the Packers. Hopefully we'll see some rookie improvements this upcoming week. Maybe we'll see a finally Brandon Weeden touchdown. Maybe Tannehill will have some less interceptions. Maybe Luck can get a win. We'll see if RG3 comes back down to earth. We'll kind of all see how all the rookies do this next week. If they can continue their success, or if they'll continue struggling, or if they'll improve upon themselves. So, be a very interesting week for that. I'm looking forward to the Monday night game, not only because it's Peyton Manning, but just because it is Broncos and Falcons. It'll be a big game, as both had a very, very good games against their teams. It'll be a very close game, I would believe, and we'll just have to see how it ends. If Manning will continue to be well, or if we will struggle against the Falcons defense. There could be some possible upsets this week as well. I'm looking to see some upsets of the Pittsburgh and Jets game, as possibly maybe the Jets upsetting the Pittsburgh Steelers, or another upset I could possibly see is the Lions upsetting the 49ers. I think they're unlikely, but I'm not going to 100% say that can't happen. So we'll see how that turns out for them. We're hoping for a lot of improvements for many teams. One of them being the Eagles. Obviously, I haven't mentioned Michael Vick. Hopefully he'll have less turnovers this next week, and maybe he can lead his team against a very tough Ravens defense. Maybe the Browns will get something going. Maybe we won't have 4 turnovers this time. And all the other rookies as well, Luck, Tannehill, and Wilson, see if they can all do something. There's many big games that are going to happen this upcoming week. We already mentioned one of them, the Bears and the Packers that just ended. The Jets and Steelers is another big game. The Lions and 49ers, not just because of the handshake, but it is a big game in general. If that handshake didn't happen this week, it's still a big game. And Denver and Atlanta, like I mentioned, is another big game this upcoming week that I'll be very interested to watch. Tony Romo will be returning to Seattle since the botched fumble incident. We'll see if he can make up for that loss, that 2006 playoff loss, with a victory over Seattle. Seattle struggled last week against Arizona, so we'll see if Tony Romo can take advantage of that and win this game. And finally, to kind of possibly look forward to is Matthew Stafford. We'll see if he can somehow pull off to get 350 yards against that very tough 49ers defense. If he does it, NFL record by doing it, by most 350-yard games. So I'll be looking forward to that. I'll be looking forward to all his other news as we get ready for the regular season Week 2 games. I hope you keep watching my videos. I hope you keep staying tuned. I'll keep you updated through the week if anything else happens. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy all the games.